Welcome back, everyone, to the Lit Medallion. It's fall. I've got my hoodie on. I've got my hat on. I've got Rowdy over my right shoulder. I got the football team behind me. Photos from probably 2017 when they're rallying in the middle of the field in the Alamo Dome. So doing some fun stuff there. It's a good time in the Alamo Dome. If you're a Roadrunner fan, it really is. Regardless of my rant in a previous video, the Alamo Dome is pretty special for the Roadrunners, especially for us fans. 72 degrees all the time. What I wanted to talk about, and it's something that needs to be said. We struggle with the UNLV. UNLV is 0-5 now. UTSA is 5-0. Now, with that being said, UNLV is not your typical 0-5 football team. I know everyone says that. Everyone says, oh, they're better than what their record is. Typically, your record says who you are. But in this regard, while UNLV is 0-5 now, and we are 5-0, where they got the best of us was at the line of scrimmage on the offensive side. On the defensive side to our offensive line. Our offensive line is a little beat up. It's struggling. It struggled a little bit. Sincere McCormick had, I believe, 29 carries for only 89 yards. Brendan Brady had, I think, maybe 30 yards. We didn't rush the ball very well. What we did do was keep Frank Harris protected. He had some good passing yards. He had well over 250 yards throwing the football, and I do believe that was part of their plan. They were going to stack the box. They were not going to let Sincere McCormick or Brendan Brady beat them. Well, you know what? That's why we have somebody like Frank Harris. He's a playmaker with his feet and his arms, and he made the plays. He absolutely made the plays. UNLV is going to surprise some people. They're going to sneak up on somebody that they're not supposed to beat. They're going to be prohibitive underdogs, and they're going to pull out the win. Because I saw a defensive line that played hard. I saw a team that played hard. For an 0-4 team, they played hard. Now, the nice thing about UNLV came down out of the suite after the end of the game, went down to the locker room, went down to the field after the game, and came across some UNLV people that worked there, and they were some of the nicest people. They were very complimentary. I'm making up words as I go along. This is awesome. But they were very complimentary of UTSA, and I think it helps that, most of our fans are pretty decent fans. We watch our game. Yeah, every team's going to have fans that are, disrespectful to other fans. But I don't think as a whole we're that type of fan base. I haven't seen it. Maybe Army game, and even then that was more of our fans defending the UTSA band for doing what the UTSA band is. Yeah, it was a gaffe. We played our fight song, after every game, the band plays its play set. I mean, the band practices hard for these performances. So when the games are over, they play our alma mater, they play our fight song, and then they go into what they played at halftime. Well, they started doing that. Well, Army had shown respect for our alma mater. Me, and I'm a huge college football fan, I didn't know that Army did that with everybody. I thought it was just during the Army-Navy game that whoever won honored the losing team's alma mater, and then vice versa, right? And I thought that was a very unique tradition for just Army-Navy. Well, it wasn't. A gaffe, a goof, whatever you want to call it. UTSA wasn't being disrespectful on purpose. It happened. Okay, so we're past that. So that's my point. I think that's about the only time I've seen UTSA fans, maybe, I don't want to say being abusive towards other fans, but just basically saying, hey, wait a minute. No, this isn't us. We're not doing this. Lay off of our kids in the band. They're kids. They don't know. Easy, fellas, right? That kind of thing. So anyway, back to the game. We couldn't run the ball. Not to UTSA standards. We couldn't run the ball. We have the second best back in the nation, and we couldn't run the ball. They stacked the box, and they were ready. Now, they didn't get to Frank Harris. They didn't pressure him. They didn't rush him per se. That they owned our line of scrimmage, but I just think we were a little depleted. We have a couple guys missing. And I think that that started to show. We probably need a bye week. Unfortunately, we don't have one coming up uh, anytime soon. We play Western Kentucky next week, and that's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a game on the road, and Western Kentucky can light it up with that quarterback. Knowing that UTSA is 5-0, every game's winnable. Every game by UTSA that we play for the rest of the year is winnable. Now, you have to win the games, but every game is losable. That's the beauty of conference play. And when you're talking a G5 conference, pretty much, I don't want to say equal from top to bottom, but pretty much, the top 8 of the 12 teams or the 14 teams now can beat each other. We're not talking Alabama and Georgia and the rest of the SEC, right? We're not talking Oklahoma and every year and the rest of the Big 12, right? Oklahoma does mess up once in a while against some team in the Big 12, but for the most part, at worst case, they lose one game, right? With UTSA, we could easily lose 3 more games. But at the end of the day, at the end of this season, if you were to tell me that we would enter this season 5-0, and we would end the season say 9-3, I'd have told you, well, awesome, but you're kind of insane. But you know what? Awesome. I will take it. I do see the Roadrunners, and I'm going to change my prediction, being 10-2 at the end of the season. I do think beating UAB and Western Kentucky are going to be tall orders. They can be done, but they're going to be tall orders. That's just where I see it. Now, let's talk about some of the defensive struggles. Every game, there's been a wide open wide receiver. I think the safety, either Rashad Wisdom or the other safety, bites on an underneath route and gives up someone right over the top. And I mean, there's nobody in the zip code. It's an easy pitch and catch for the quarterback. And that was 7 of their 17 points. So we gave up one easy strike, and our defense then made them earn the next 10. They really earned the next 10. We won the game 24-17. We missed 2 field goals, unlike Hunter Duplessis. One was a little lengthy, but the other one he just pushed to the right. And unfortunately, stuff like that happens. But we got 3 turnovers, and that is very important. That our defense turns the ball over. They really showed up. They really showed out. And you got to be happy with that performance as Roadrunners. We put pressure on their quarterback. He did have some decent yards, but we still got pressure on him. They couldn't run on us. That was glaringly obvious. We created 3 turnovers. We got to the quarterback, and more importantly, when they had a chance, right, to tie the game or send the game into overtime or go for 2, whatever. They had a chance, and their last play, we got to them and we sacked them, and got us the ball back, and then we went into victory formation. So the team is playing really, really solid fundamental football. I'm going to say it again. When they get a big play, they know what they're supposed to do. They know where they're supposed to be. And that is immensely important. That is organization. Organization gets you very far in life, as we all know. A bad plan, extremely executed, will go farther than a great plan, poorly executed, will. It's how it goes. I just need to clean up the field goal, the kicking situation. The punter, I mean, he made some great punts. We got a really good punter out of Australia, Lucas Steen. Got to give him a shout out. He really put the ball in the air. They couldn't do anything with it, and that really helps. It flipped the field a couple times for us, and that really helps the defense. Our pass rush got to them. Our linebackers were where they needed to be. Like I said, except for one play, it's what happens. I think our safety saw the cheese, went after the cheese, and unfortunately, the trap got him, right. and got a wide receiver going down the field. Uh, got to give a shout out to our wide receivers. They played fantastic. I don't remember. I think it was Franklin that really laid out and caught a ball for our final touchdown. He really faked out the defender. It could have been Franklin or Cephas, is wide receiver. He looked back and made this safety bite while the ball was thrown in a completely different area. It was really beautiful. He made a good diving catch. It sealed the game for us. I mean, it put us up to 24-10. So then we were, kind of able to coast. It'd have been nice to be able to really seal it after that, but I mean, unfortunately, we couldn't. Now, the one big thing that I really don't understand. So we went for it on fourth down multiple times. We got it one time. And I think two more times we failed to get it. Now, I know our offense, and it's hard to question, an offensive coordinator that's putting yards up consistently against everybody we've played. It's not like we've laid an egg yet offensively. But in the old adage is don't ignore in victory what you wouldn't ignore in defeat. We're going to talk about going on for it on fourth down. Lane Kiffin, we all know, everybody ran him into the ground for going for it on fourth down so many times against Alabama. Well, we went for it, and I'm not mad about us going for it. In every situation, it made sense. In every situation. What I don't understand is why we don't have a jumbo package. I can't really question the coaching staff. I don't really know enough behind the scenes, but we do have a 235-pound running back, and it would be kind of nice that I think that he could easily enough take a direct snap. And if we get a false start, well, guess what? You know what? That's the same as not converting on our read option, But it'd be nice to have a direct snap to somebody that big, have a linebacker in the backfield, and just our big guys are coming after your big guys. And if you stop us, great. It'd be nice to have seen that pulled out. But, all in all, I understand sticking with what you know and what your guys know, and having confidence in Cincinnati McCormick, having confidence in Frank Harris to make the right read, and your offensive line to push the defensive line around. Now, you know what? They didn't. Two times they didn't, and gave the ball back. Now, it was in plus territory, so could we have punted? Yeah, and would have made a 20-yard difference, something like that, or maybe would have been lucky and gotten a coffin corner kick. So I'm not too upset about it. It's just, where's the jumbo package? You got to have one. Every team has one. Every team has to have one. There's a reason they didn't run it. So we won. We got the dub. Up comes Western Kentucky. They've got a quarterback who can sling it around. We've got a dynamic quarterback whose arm strength is starting to really improve. His legs, have always been his best asset, but he makes good decisions throwing the ball. So he's a good quarterback, Frank Harris. But our defense is going to have its hands full if we cannot put pressure on that quarterback. It's a great day to be a Roadrunner. We're 5-0, and let's get that 6-0, baby. Birds up.